Good morning. I'd like to call the Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee meeting to order. Today is Wednesday, August 3rd, 2016. Janine, will you call the roll, please?
Calling the roll, Mr. Germana.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Ms. Conwell.
Here.
Mr. Greenspan. Mr. Greenspan is absent. Ms. Simon. Ms. Simon is absent at the moment. There is a quorum.
Okay, is there any public comment related to the agenda?
No, Mr. Chair, no one is signed in.
Okay, we have the minutes of July 14th meeting. If everybody's had a chance to review, I move we accept. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Okay, the minutes are approved. Matter is referred to committee. We're going to start with item D, and then we'll go back to the regular order.
Resolution number 2016-0136, approving right-of-way plans as set forth in plat number M-5026 for replacement of Columbus Road Bridge number 01.09 over Bear Creek in the city of Bedford.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nicole English with Public Works. We're asking for authority to acquire the right-of-way. This project is currently under construction, and because it was a tight schedule, we had a work agreement with the city of Shaker Heights while we were finalizing the design elements. So now we're just trying to clean up the right-of-way so that for future maintenance, we have the right-of-way in order to get in there. And Shaker Heights has indicated to us they're going to donate the parcel, so it's just a matter of getting the paperwork in and signed.
Okay, is there any questions from the committee? Mr. Miller.
The legislation refers to the replacement of Columbus Road Bridge over Bear Creek in the city of Bedford. Why are we dealing with Shaker Heights on this?
They own a parcel of land here. I think it's an old treatment plant, maybe, that they had from years ago.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, yeah, Ms. Conwell.
Through the chair to Ms. English, so has there been any discussion for them to release this or whatever?
Yeah, we've talked to their public works director, and so she said they're likely willing to donate. We do have an appraisal on it. It's worth about $2,000, the parcel, but they said they like to be partners, that they're willing to donate. It's just we have to have this authority to even have them sign the donation.
Okay, thank you.
So is the construction imminent? Is there any need to move this along?
No, we
Okay.
can take 3 readings. That's fine.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, I'll move that we send this to council under second reading. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second. And any final questions? Okay, all those in favor of the motion, sending it for second reading, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, 136 is moved forward for second reading. So we go back to A, and A is 133.
Resolution number 2016-0133, authorizing a contract with Engineered Arresting Systems, Corporation, doing business as Zodiac Arresting Systems America, in the amount not to exceed $5,981,448 for purchase of engineered material arresting system for the County Airport Runway Safety Improvements Project for the period 8/24/2016 through 12/31/2018.
Again, Nicole English with Public Works. This is a sole source purchase because it's the only material that's approved by the FAA. It would be purchased, and then we would get a grant from the FAA to pay for 90% of the material cost, and then we also get 5% from the state. Right now, we would only need to be approving the contract with them. They've waived the deposit, but the reason we're doing it quickly is because their fiscal year ends September 1, and so they would like us to sign the contract to get fiscal year pricing. Otherwise, the price will go up about 12% if we wait until the next year. And it's likely that when FAA comes back to us this year and they have additional funds for a grant, we will be able to purchase it with this year's grant funds.
Okay, questions from the committee? Okay, got Mr. Miller?
Our share is 5%, so that's 300,000 more or less. Is that correct?
Correct, 5%.
And how is that being paid for?
Out of the airport fund. We do front the money, but however, the way FAA reimburses, they're very quick that within the same month, we normally have the funds back.
And
The general fund from the airport.
and is this part of the capital improvements program?
Yes,
So it would come from capital improvement funds?
correct.
Yeah. And was this item budgeted in the current capital improvements program, or is this a new item?
Yes, it's budgeted. Right, it's lower because the ODOT money is a new program this year that they are giving us the 5%, so we had 10% in as our cost.
Good. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Conwell, any questions? Okay, I see this is, of course, this is in Sonny Simon's district, so when she comes, we'll allow her to add her name if she so wishes. So we do want to move this along, second reading suspension.
Correct, so that we can get that fiscal year
So we
pricing.
want to get the fiscal year pricing, so for that reason, I'll move that this be sent to the full council on our second reading suspension. Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Any final questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. 133 is sent to the full council for second reading suspension. Next.
Resolution number 2016-0134, fixing the 2017 water, storm, and sanitary sewer maintenance and/or sewerage treatment rates in accordance with Ohio Revised Code, Section 6117.02.
Good morning.
Morning, Mike Chambers of Public Works. These next two items are related. The first one, which is item 134, is actual fixing the rate or setting the rates in our communities. The second item, 135, is basically approving and confirming the rates. Both steps are kind of required as part of the ORC. 134, basically on an annual basis, we meet with all of our communities discussing their needs. I'm happy to say there are no rate increases this year, just a couple of rate reallocations. The two cities that we're reallocating, one is in Parma. We're reallocating 15 cents from their water fund into their sanitary fund. And Warrensville Heights, we're reallocating $1.75 from their sanitary fund into their storm. We work with these communities, we look at where their balances lie, and when we reallocate, there's no change to the taxpayers. It's just, keeping the same totals, but just reallocating the different funds that we collected into.
Okay, questions from members of the committee? Mrs. Conwell.
Through the chair, who sets the rates again?
Actually, county council sets the rates, but it's in cooperation with the communities.
Okay, because I know it has common pleas court and for different footage, and I guess it says a per settlement formula per common pleas. Commercial, it has industrial.
Right, that goes back to our apartments. There was a lawsuit many years ago, and it was settled in court. And so we referenced that per this court agreement is how it's determined. It basically takes kind of an average of the community. Apartments are obviously small houses that we didn't charge them the full house, so they came up with this formula, which is kind of less than a full house, but it was a fair, equitable rate that they determined at the time.
Okay.
Let the record reflect that Councilwoman Simon is in attendance. I'd just like to state for the record, because I'm kind of like a broken record. During my tenure as president of the Parma City Council, going to the sanitary engineer was one of the smartest things that council did over that whole 19 years. One of the smartest. And just for the record, both council people and former council people that are running for my seat were much in favor, and I've seen the results of how our sanitary and storm has been improved because of that. So, thank you. I'm pretty consistent. I just say it every time, and the sanitary engineer is one of the greatest things that we're doing for our cities. And basically, they're doing a great job. Most recently, just in my own neighborhood, I've seen them out there working within 500 feet of my house, so, very professional. Any further comments on 134? Now, is there a time
Yes, I
crunch
can
on
bring that
this?
up. We have to have it passed by the second Monday in September, and unfortunately, the next council meeting is the day after. So unfortunately, we were asking to, expedite this as if we could to the next
Okay.
council meeting for approval.
Okay, so this is actually no cost to the county, because this is all rates that the city put on themselves. Any further questions on that? Okay, I'll move that this goes to the full council under second reading suspension. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final questions on this? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. 134 goes to council under second reading suspension.
Resolution number 2016-0135, approving and confirming the 2017 water, storm, and sanitary sewer maintenance and/or sewage treatment assessment in accordance with Ohio Revised Code, Section 6117.02.
Mike Chambers again with Public Works. This is the follow-up step. Once it was affixed and set, now we have to approve and confirm. So everything we just talked about is in play. There's no other changes other than ORC requires the second step.
Okay, any questions on this? It's pretty straightforward. Same time constraint holds true, so with that, if there's no questions, I'll move that this goes to the full council under second reading suspension. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final questions? All those in favor of the resolution say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. 135 goes to the full council under second reading suspension.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Simon, we had the resolution on the airport, and they asked to have that done first because they had the speaker here. So what I left the comment that if you want to add your name as a sponsor since it's in your district. Okay. Okay, what's next, Janine?
Ordinance number 2015-0018, enacting section 806.03 of the Cuyahoga County Code to establish the Cuyahoga County Public Works Shared Services Program as part of shared services provided to political subdivisions by the Department of Public Works.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
I could just give some brief comments.
Okay, Mr. Director, go ahead.
And then we'll have some follow-ups. First off, I just want to express our thanks to the sponsor and the co-sponsor, Dave Greenspan and Dale Miller. We met, it's probably been over a year ago, with the Auditor of State and council staff to really begin to look at the Share Ohio program and providing the opportunities to share our equipment. And I want to thank Anka Davis for helping us out over the last year with the proposed ordinance. And we've worked through a lot of the issues. There were some specific issues that were being addressed through the Ohio legislature. I think it was House Bill 5. Those issues were addressed properly to our satisfaction and was actually signed into law, those proposed changes. So this is a collaborative effort here at the county between the Regional Collaboration, our office, Public Works, the Law Department, Council. It creates it's a shared service model for public works equipment. It fosters economic development. It fosters certainly regional collaboration with all of our 59 municipalities. There's a evident need throughout our communities to reduce costs on municipalities spending on public works equipment. The life cycle of the equipment, the costs, the astronomical costs of the equipment, the maintenance of the equipment, our communities can no longer handle it. on their own. We have many municipalities who are experiencing struggling budgets, struggling income tax collections, and various needs. So, and on the other hand, it allows the county to maximize the use and the earning potential of our own equipment that we have at the Public Works Department. Approximately, we have 5 municipalities that have created their own Share Ohio account. This allows us, what this program does, it allows the county to operate as a lender to the municipalities within the county for regular and emergency uses. There's also opportunities for non-Cuyahoga governmental subdivisions on a case-by-case basis or an emergency. With regard to the Share Ohio and the transactions, it utilizes a web-based Share Ohio platform for initiating requests to borrow equipment. It's www.shareohio.gov. It's free and open access web platform, and it allows these government entities, mostly obviously our municipalities, to request listed public works equipment via the Ohio Auditor of State. The specific negotiations in terms of the final usage, the labor issues, the liability issues as to the transferring of the equipment is determined between the borrower and the lender. The legal provisions, as helped out by our law department and by ANCA, are in place to protect Cuyahoga County from liability concerns. The way the program works is the county puts out its equipment on the web-based site, and one day Parma Heights decides that they need a backhoe for Monday, and they will sign up for the piece of equipment that makes sure that the equipment, the backhoe is available for Monday. Sign up, put it in, they get the backhoe for Monday, and then it has to be returned by Monday night or Tuesday morning. Because, for instance, Richmond Heights may need the backhoe for Tuesday, so Richmond Heights signs it up for Tuesday. And it's all done on a web-based platform, so all the municipalities can see. It's voluntary. People can sign up. Obviously, 5 communities have already signed up and are using the Share Ohio platform. And we wanted to make sure that the county, if the county is going to ask communities to sign up, I think it's incumbent upon the county to be a leader in regional collaboration so that we put our own equipment up on this site. We have excellent equipment, and really our municipalities should be able to benefit from the equipment that we have. Some of the next step we're going to do, we're going to host a informational meeting with our Public Works Department with all the various service directors, because it's the service directors in the municipalities that will be dealing mostly with when they need the equipment, how fast they can get the equipment, and negotiate the terms of the transactions, because they're best. They know best when they need it and the specific needs of each community. And we'll do that through our Public Works Department and the Auditor State. And then obviously we're going to encourage all of our municipalities to sign up so they could take advantage of having the opportunity to have this equipment that many of our communities don't have and don't have the resources to purchase it on their own. So those are just some of the brief outlines of what the program will help us as a county, will help our various municipalities. One of the things we strive to do is make it easier for our municipalities to operate on a day-to-day basis, and having the public works equipment to meet their infrastructure needs is critical. One of the most important things of a municipality is making sure that they have the proper infrastructure. And you can't provide the infrastructure without the equipment and the timely procuring of this equipment. So what I'm going to do maybe is turn this over to, we have a representative from the Auditor of State. Brent Grace came with us and to share some of the thoughts and programs. The Share Ohio program is up and running in other counties. I believe Lake County it's fully operational in Lake County, and all of the municipalities within Lake take advantage of this program. So it is tried and tested, proven, and we'd like to obviously bring this to our own county. So.
If I can just interject with one quick question before our speaker speaks. What 5 municipalities are signed up?
Yeah, I know Shaker is one. I'll make sure we
Okay.
have that today, but I know Shaker is one, but I don't know the other 4.
Okay, so let me just say a couple things that I'm interested in. I see that the way this is worded, it's also including personnel. Because some of these pieces of equipment, the city may not have an operator either capable, or that operator may be out on leave. So if we've got equipment with somebody that doesn't know how to operate it, it could be catastrophe. So, Mr. Dever.
Yeah, actually, Michael Dever, Director of Public Works. Yeah, there is certain pieces of equipment are specialized pieces of equipment, so they will have an operator coming with them also. So that's how we've kind of crafted, depending on the piece of equipment. Some of it is basic dump trucks, and you just kind of need to have some experience driving a dump truck and a CDL, things like that. But there is just a few pieces of equipment that will require an operator specifically with it.
What about liability? If something happens, something is underground that's not supposed to be there, and gas line is not supposed to be there, they hit a gas line, or some type of cable. Is that worked out, whose insurance?
So the liability of the parties is going to be addressed in each individual contract, because the county will enter into a contract with each individual municipality that will participate into the program. It's very similar to your preventative maintenance programs that you have out of Public Works, or bridge maintenance programs. Exactly, that works exactly the same. So at the time when the municipality enters into a contract, we have stipulated into the contract liability provisions that the borrowing municipality will bear the risk for the supervision of the personnel, and also if something happens with the equipment. And also that we have other provisions in place to ensure that the equipment will be properly used. For example, the county can check certifications and licenses depending on what type of equipment the municipality is borrowing. They can actually refuse to lend the equipment if they don't think it's appropriate for the situation. So we do have those in the contract.
Well, I just want to make sure, because certainly probably would be requesting a certificate of insurance from the municipality, showing that they have insurance, so that we don't have an uninsured incident. So thank you very much. Yes, sir. Please state your name again.
My name is Brent Grace, and I work for the Ohio Auditor's Office and the Ohio Performance Team. I'd just like to speak maybe generally about the Lake County study that kind of brought Share Ohio about, and some of the other research that we've done and some of the studies that we've done in our performance audits. We found in Lake County that they had a lot of specialized equipment, earth-moving equipment, for example, a lot of equipment that's used for road maintenance that wasn't being very heavily utilized. They had a lot of pieces of equipment that were basically sitting for large portions of the year. Then when they needed it in an emergency, they would bring it out. So the idea of shared service is that those underutilized pieces of equipment could be better utilized. And since there is some language in the agreement, and since there's some ability in the website to even share some of the cost, it might help an entity recoup some of the cost on that equipment that would otherwise just be sitting there. Also, as you get more advanced in a shared service model, maybe even take into account that sharing in purchasing. So instead of buying a new backhoe, each small municipality in an area maybe would buy a new backhoe. They could all collaborate and say, well, one is going to buy a backhoe and then we're all going to share it because maybe we don't use it very often. We also found similar usage patterns even at ODOT when we looked at their equipment in our 2012-2013 audit. It was very common for ODOT districts to have, again, very expensive piece of equipment, lawn, brush chippers and things like that, and earth moving equipment that was used very rarely. It would maybe only be used a few hours per year. And so setting up a sharing model like this can help you really maximize the benefit of that equipment and help you achieve better utilization and therefore get a much better benefit for your taxpayers.
Okay, any questions? Mrs. Conlon?
I don't know if these questions will be for you or Public Works, but I'm just wondering, probably this first question will be for Public Works. Who is monitoring the needs of each city as they come in?
Well, the way we're setting up the program is our fleet services manager is going to handle the request as they come in. Since Public Works is broken up into basically 4 or 3 divisions, from our road and bridge to our sanitary to even our facilities group. The intent is the request will come in and then the fleet services manager's administrative assistant will then filter back to each of those divisions to try and find out if the equipment is currently being utilized and then make a determination, can we release it for the day to maybe it's a week or so.
Since the equipment will be ours, and I'm assuming that it'll be located with us, have we thought about who, will the cities pick it up?
Well, that's what we're taking into consideration also. Some of it is very large equipment that you need a certain type of trailer to get it to whatever location. Now, we have the ability to do that, to deliver a piece of equipment. And the thought was, as Anka has mentioned about the insurance, to make sure that they have, if they do have a trailer coming and they have the appropriate person to be able to drive that trailer, to be able to transport it. So there's a little bit of room there. And for us either to do the delivery or for the municipality or township to come in.
So that will be a cost. They will be paying us a cost.
Yeah, definitely.
So that'll be incorporated.
Yes.
Do we have enough equipment to loan out at one time?
Well, we've put together right now a list of about 30 pieces. And some of it is specialty pieces where, as I had mentioned earlier, that there will be an operator need to go with it, like a knuckle boom, a bridge inspection piece of equipment. We utilize that, as had been mentioned, some pieces of equipment with the state is only utilized for so many hours a year. I would say our equipment is used much more regularly, but there is certain pieces that are not out every day. And we do have excess pieces in case we do have breakdowns also. So we're able to put them back in the field. So there is pieces that are not being used regularly, but we'll see how the requests come in, and we'll make a smart decision, we hope, if we're going to loan it out. And
well, I'm just assuming that this program's going to grow. For right now, when you start with the 5 basic, there'll probably be enough equipment. No, it won't be any scheduling conflicts, but I see this as something that people are going to want to get into, and then we're going to have more cities and less equipment.
The hope is, I think those other cities then, if they have other pieces of equipment, and as the program should be, is they're sharing amongst the cities. Okay. So we are like the big brother that comes in and starts the program, but as these other cities come into the fold, then they start sharing amongst each other, and there will be a larger pool then to draw from.
Okay, so that answered my next question. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Simon, did you have a question?
Sure. So what exactly is the state auditor providing? Is it the website? Is that pretty much what we're utilizing from the state?
Yes, we provide the website that allows for that peer-to-peer sharing that everyone has been talking about.
One more question. Do you think this could grow when you have those near different counties? If it's, because you're going to look at efficiency and how close an equipment is. So say if Westlake, which is in Cuyahoga County, needs something, but our equipment or whoever's might be in Chagrin Falls, do you think possibility we could share with Summit or with those neighboring?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's our hope and the hope of probably everybody that's been involved in Share Ohio that it will grow over time. I think the important thing in anything like this is to kind of establish a record of success. That way you'll attract those other potential members.
Question?
Ms. Simon?
So communities now are sharing equipment without this program, at least firefighters sharing equipment and reciprocity, and have communities shared, I think they're sharing this type of equipment as well, city to city. What would this do to expand or help grow that?
I think that the reason that Share Ohio came about was to kind of provide a center of gravity for that sharing and could provide a lot of times what I've found as I've done performance audits throughout Ohio is that communities will have informal agreements. And, you know, a public service director maybe has a personal relationship because he grew up in the area with a public service director in the next village over. And so they know to share back and forth. But the thing that the website does is it provides transparency. There are also some tools on the website that allow a municipality to kind of keep an inventory on. I mean, that's basically what it is. It's a way to keep an inventory, a database, so that there's a lot more transparency into what a municipality has and when it's checked out or when it's in use and when it's not in use. And I think that that is the advantage of doing something more formalized as opposed to kind of just an informal sharing arrangement. But you're right, informal sharing has always gone on between municipalities in Ohio.
So you have this going on in Lake County now, right? Mm-hmm. How long has that been up and going? A year?
I think about a year in Lake County, yeah.
So have there been any downsides, any learning experiences that, we should know about?
We are not aware of any right now. I will say that this is something that's very much in a early stage, and I think that a lot of municipalities were a little reluctant to get involved before HB 5 passed. HB 5, which provided the language that allowed for that exact liability assignment. So I think that we're still learning, basically, from Lake County. I don't think we have a lot of lessons right now. I think that there's still a lot of work to be done before we learn whether or not this is really something that is beneficial, but I think it could be very beneficial.
So you said the hesitancy perhaps was concerning the liability before the bill passed?
Yes.
What does the bill say about liability?
The bill just clarifies that if two municipalities do have an agreement, that liability does shift to in accordance with the agreement.
With the contract?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So I think it's been covered, but I just want to make sure this is cost neutral so that we're not, is the county bearing any expense that is not recouped from this?
No, we've actually developed equipment rates, and if it includes an operator or whatnot. So we've included all of that within the rate schedule that we have. So we do have, like with the sanitary work that we do for the communities, we have a rate schedule, hourly rate schedule for the equipment and the manpower. So we do something similar as it is right now. So we think we're capturing all of our costs in this rate schedule.
See, it seems to me, and I think this is great. It's a great program. I think small cities that maybe didn't have the manpower or the equipment had to go out and bid, which is an expensive proposition, and they had a contractor doing this. These governmental activities that need to be done by municipalities. This is going to give these municipalities the chance to get projects done without having to go out and bid and have contractors come in. So, you know, I think we may even get to a point where we'll be purchasing equipment based on the need. If we see there's needs, we need extra backhaul because we don't have enough to go around. And it's going to bring the cost of government down, and more efficiency. Because if you have a high expensive piece of equipment that you rarely use, and studies have found that fire equipment between different municipalities, they have the sophisticated fire equipment or life-saving equipment if it can be shared. So I think this collaboration is really accelerating. So we even found this. We're doing great things with the 911 consolidation. So we have that going for us. So I'd like to add my name to this legislation because I think it's a great thing. Is there any other questions? Mr. Miller?
I'd like to add mine too.
A couple questions. One on the pricing schedule. Does it include overhead costs, or does it include just the basic cost of the equipment and the labor time?
Much like how we pull together our equipment cost for sanitary, because it is an hourly rate cost, we have taken that into consideration and we've averaged it out. So we feel fairly confident in the rates that we have put together here.
So it includes some overhead costs for general operation of the office, is that correct?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And also regarding the operation of this program in Lake County, do you have any information on how many incidents of equipment being shared have occurred during the past year that this has been in operation in Lake County?
No, we don't have any information on that just yet.
What's the timing like on this?
Well, in regards to if the program's passed or adopted by the county here, then we would be looking for agreements with the respective communities so that want to participate in it. As Eddie had mentioned, I think we're going to be doing an outreach effort to notify the public works directors and the mayors of those communities that we are participating in with the assistant of the state auditor's office. So it's an educational thing, getting the word out there, but we need to be up and running ourselves and have ourselves prepared to, if the calls start coming in. So Eddie, do you have anything further on that?
No, I mean, I think, similar to what has been done in the past, we'd probably do an informational meeting with service directors, mayors, public work directors. We would have the auditor, Mike, and we would do a presentation probably here. Just invite everyone so we can have a good discussion on it.
I don't see any downside to this. I mean, I was trying to think of, as far as the timing, we're already in August. And I started thinking, well, could these cities start using this stuff before the snow flies? And then that brought up another question. What about snow plows and snow plowing? Has that been on the drawing board at all?
Well, much like with our sanitary services, it's like another piece that we're drifting into in sanitary is street sweeping, which is really part of the storm water management program. So those are things that we're looking at doing. As for snowplowing, we have dump trucks on here and there's attachments to it. So there is a possibility for snow plowing associated with a municipality. So we'll see what comes our way. But I mean, since we are not doing any more snow plowing out in the Olmsted Township was one of our primary communities where we were responsible for the plowing of the snow out there. As you may recall, we entered into agreement for them to take on those services. We still have some snow plowing equipment available I think we have about 4 to 5 larger trucks, and we still have the plowing equipment. So the ability is here. So if the request does come, I think we'd be ready to assist in that manner.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Miller?
We can help you get this started a month earlier if we approve it under second reading suspension. And I think normally we don't do that with ordinances, but given that there doesn't seem to be any controversy on this legislation and the fact that the second meeting of August is canceled, I would move that we recommend this for approval under second reading suspension.
Okay, there's been a move. Is there a second?
Mr. Chair, before you move ahead, there's a proposed substitute in your package.
Okay. I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me.
Can I ask my question, Mr. Chair?
Sure, go ahead.
Through the chair to Director, I may have missed this. Is the maintenance of the equipment included in the rate? The maintenance?
Yes, obviously we have a normal rate schedule with our all pieces of equipment. So once again, when we put together that rate, we factored into, be it that administrative overhead that of our fleet services, and then transportation of vehicle, things like that, and the maintenance of the truck also, or the backhoe, or whatever it may be. I'm not sure if you've seen the listing of equipment. I'm not sure if that's before you right now. But some of the pieces of equipment are 8-ton dump truck, knuckle boom with platform. Now that's the snooper that we use on bridge inspection. Now we do utilize that often, but there is times that it is down. And then you need a special operator to work that too, because it reaches over a bridge. The 3/4 ton pickup trucks with aero boards, aerial bucket truck, 100-foot national crane with grapple, landscape trailers, dump trucks, tilt trailers, tow behind concrete mixer, mini excavator, skid steer, compaction roller, backhoe, compressor.
We have
Various pieces.
regular maintenance agreements for our equipment, and so this won't propose any problems in regards to those contracts, will it?
The maintenance agreement with the
Well,
equipment?
with just our equipment, do we have regular maintenance agreements to keep our equipment?
Yeah, I mean, we have a regular schedule where we're taking care of our equipment, and some of this is still under warranties also. Many of these pieces of equipment have 5-year warranties to them.
So this won't mess up the warranties in any
No.
way, impact it?
No, not at all.
And just asking, and when we move forward, can a report be given to Public Works Committee on an annual basis on the cities that are included? Just knowing from firsthand when we entered the health benefits agreements with the various municipalities, we had always asked that they present to us if it ever got to a point where it was too much for us.
Sure.
As the cities begin to get in. So we would just, I guess, ask the same thing.
Right, so if the program gets too aggressive and we're not
Say all
able to-
59
Yeah.
want to get in.
Well, that's the hope is all 59 do get in, and then they're able to feed off of the other communities also.
But it would just be nice as we're starting this pilot program
Right.
or ordinances to just hear as we go along how many cities have got in to this point and
Right.
if it is any problems that are occurring.
Right, okay, very good.
Mr. Chair.
Ms. Simon?
So I have a question to our lawyer about liability. If a city totally trashes or crashes one of our pieces of equipment, and do they have to have insurance? Do we have a UCC security interest? How are we securing any losses?
So the county carries insurance on all this equipment because it is our equipment. And this is part of the overhead cost that's calculated in the rate. So, but the liability is with the community when something happens to the equipment. And then, we choose to, there's a provision in the contract. Where we choose to charge them for the cost, or they repair it to the condition, depending on what the damage is. They repair it to.
Pay it. And by the way, when I looked at the website, it looks like we have to go through the Ohio Attorney General to pursue any collection matters. Are we mandated to use the AG for that? If we have to collect for a loss from a community, must we use the Ohio Attorney General? I just saw that on the website of shared services. Do you know?
I don't believe so.
Okay, you don't think so?
No.
Do you know, Mr. Auditor Office? Okay. Well, I just want to make sure if cities destroy or damage a piece of equipment and they can't pay, there's no way for us to secure that in advance, right? We just hope that they can pay us, and
Right.
that would be a place where there might be potential problems. Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Mrs. Conwell?
I just want to follow up, the rates being paid, where will those funds be kept? Kind of in the health benefit plan, we kind of had a separate fund where when the cities loaned the equipment or what leased it or whatever the statement was, those funds was kept separate, I guess, for if there was any cost. And we didn't charge that much because we couldn't for the health benefits, but in this case.
Yeah, Mike Chambers of Public Works, most of the equipment we have right now is under the road and bridge section. And so any funds we collect, we will deposit into the road and bridge account. Obviously, it'll help us pay for new equipment in the future and or continue our operations. But as Mike indicated, we did include, in our daily rate and our weekly rate, a little bit of overhead. We didn't, we weren't out to gouge anyway, we're out to cover our costs and make sure we cover our costs. So we will deposit all those funds into the road and bridge at this time.
Okay, will there be a separate, all the funds will go to be commingled together, but will there be, I guess, some data or something so you can pull up what is actually going into that specific?
I think our intent would be, and it's a great suggestion, to come up with a new revenue sub-object code so we can track, revenue from our shared program. That would be a good idea, yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Miller?
Following up on Ms. Simon's question about damaged equipment, would it be normal for a municipality that's using borrowed equipment to carry liability insurance so that if an accident occurred that they would have insurance coverage to pay for it?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if you're more familiar with it.
It has been my experience that usually municipalities, and especially smaller municipalities, are self-insured, so they do not carry insurance. So that's why we don't want to put that provision. Some of them carry insurance, some of the larger municipalities for certain functions, but most of them don't. So we don't want to put that in the contract because we know that they might not be able to comply.
Okay. But we have the flexibility to accept or reject any request, and if we don't think a municipality has the capability to cover a loss that might occur, we could just say we're not going to do this one.
Absolutely.
Janine, I just have a question. Where did this 2015-0018, where did it come from? Because it wasn't on last month's agenda.
Are you talking about the last month's email?
Well, I'm talking about this ordinance 2015-0018. Was this, has this
This
been?
is an
in-
older,
so
ordinance.
It's just been sitting in
Yeah,
committee?
it's been sitting in
Okay,
committee.
I just wanted to make sure, because I was
But it
going
wasn't,
to
it
this.
wasn't put in the book, is what we're saying to,
Right, it wouldn't be put in the book.
Out
That,
of committee. It's
this,
coming out of
this has
committee.
been, pending in committee since last year.
Okay, we got, on page 23 of today's agenda is a substitute. So for purpose of this discussion, I'll move that we accept substitute 2015-0018. Is there a second?
second.
Okay. I see this extra paragraph basically is instituted because of the passage of the Ohio Revised Code. Is that correct?
Yes, this basically memorializes that we have a new section of the Ohio Revised Code that's addressing the Shared Equipment Services Program and the liabilities.
Okay. Any other questions on the substitute? So all those in favor of the substitute, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carries. So we've now got 2015-0018. Mr. Merrill, I'll accept your motion.
Okay, I will move that we recommend favorably to the full council for consideration for second reading suspension.
Okay, I'll second that. Any
I just want to add my name.
Ms. Simon?
I had a question for the director.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Connell.
Just kind of on, I guess, yeah. On the maintenance, in regards to if something, kind of stuck on Councilman Miller's last point. So I agree with Councilman Miller that, we don't have to necessarily agree to let a city utilize a piece of equipment, but if we're in contract with that city already, how will that be stated? I mean, we've agreed to, they want to be in the shared program. They don't have, we feel some kind of way that they don't have the correct licensure or whatever to utilize this piece of a heavy equipment. How is that gonna roll out, us saying, no, we're not gonna let you use this big truck because, I'm just wondering how we're gonna handle that.
So the contract is for the municipality to be able to access the various pieces of equipment. It does not obligate the county to basically lease out each piece of equipment. So the county retains discretion whether, that particular piece of equipment is going to be leased out to that, or for that specific job, or for that specific municipality. So there's a provision in the contract where it says that the county has the right to refuse.
So I would just ask that we make that very clear, because I could, with each city, because sometimes I would just assume that, oh, great, this is a great program, I can borrow any equipment. Those details, they might not be big enough to have a expansive law department like us, so I would just ask that we're upfront with them, that, just like Anka stated,
Right.
we're opening this up, but it doesn't necessarily mean that even if we get in contract with you, we might feel a certain kind of way with you in a certain piece of equipment.
So not only that we have the right to refuse, but there's also a provision that is called recall of aid and assistance. So maybe, the county notices that during the lease period, there's a problem with the way the equipment is used, or there's a problem with the equipment and personnel is used, we can recall it. So that's also an option.
I don't know how you're gonna roll it out, talking to the cities, but maybe it would help to just from some of the questions that we've asked, and you'll probably get some more from some other council members. Just maybe a FAQ sheet for the cities, frequently asked questions, so they can, hone in to those. I don't know if that's a possibility, but I think this is a great program, but I just want the cities to be able to fully understand it and not.
I think it's a great idea.
And I think all members of council are going to be very interested in being present, so we definitely want to know when this
Absolutely.
meeting is, so we don't miss it. Because this is just another step of the county moving in the right direction. I think this is going to be big, and what comes of this is going to be big. Okay, before we take the vote, any other final questions?
I do. I have one more question.
Okay, Ms.
To
Hammond?
the auditor guy. I'm sorry, what's your first name? Brent. What if we wanted to expand? I guess the ORC is just the specific to this type of equipment, or would we be able to expand this into other types of equipment? Is there like exclusive, is it service equipment, or could we use a car or other types of equipment?
The HB5 provisions just specify anything. I mean, it isn't necessarily limited to, what we would think of as heavy equipment. I'm pretty sure that we definitely are set up on the website. I mean, unless I'm wrong, we are set up on the website to share regular, like, trucks, like F1. I mean, people have, I believe, like F-150s on there and things like that. I know he mentioned they have dump trucks. I would see no reason that you couldn't potentially share cars, if that made sense, like if somebody had a pool fleet. There's no, I don't want to say there's no limit, but there's no reason that wouldn't work with the website. Yeah. Does that answer your question? Okay.
One final question is, I
Uh-huh.
guess we spur off. Did this go through the risk management department in any way?
Yes, we have discussed this with risk. Yes, and we had a list of all the pieces of equipment that are insured, and we checked with our broker, and we did our due diligence.
Okay. But from our standpoint, a follow-up on Councilwoman Simon's thing, from our standpoint, even though the legislation or on the website, they can borrow trucks or whatever, but from our internal standpoint, we're only looking at the equipment that Public Works have identified at this point? Because I'm sure risk management didn't look at loaning out a truck and all this other stuff that could roll out, so. Even though it says that we can, I think risk management, well, I guess my question to you would, did risk management just solely look at the equipment list that Director
Yeah, I
stated?
guess they looked at the equipment list that Public Works provided that is available for the Share Ohio program.
Okay.
Yes, and they would look at any other piece of equipment that would.
So that's in the future,
yeah.
okay, thank you.
And I'd just like to add, it's completely at the discretion of the person who's administering the website on your side, what equipment gets added or doesn't get added to the website. 100% up to you.
So, Mr. Chair, I would just ask that, Director, you don't have to get up, just Director Devers, when you, just give us our annual report or our update, you might find that there's some requests for some other things that would be shared with us at that time.
The county, what our fleet consists of. Right now, we're close to 400 pieces of licensed vehicles. Now that includes police cars or sheriff vehicles, Health and Human Services vans. Obviously, the heavy equipment that we're really looking at here is very much all under Public Works. So that's why we've narrowed it down to, we think these 30 pieces have the ability where they're not used day in and day out, where we think that there could be some value to the communities to use. So that list may grow. It may tighten up also if we start to notice that there's a certain piece that we need, because I do have, roughly 150 people around the county at any given day working on sewers, roads, or bridges. So we have to take it all into consideration.
Just one more comment that I'd like to add. Included in here is equipment plus personnel. And I think the next step is personnel, where cities could start sharing personnel, and I know some cities have had building commissioners, building inspectors, that they share across the boundary, HR directors and so on. So this, fosters the idea of collaboration to make efficient use of equipment and personnel. So it's been moved and seconded that this goes to the full council for second reading suspension and substitute. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. That concludes our agenda. Is there anyone signed up for public comment?
No, Mr. Chair, no one has signed in.
Any miscellaneous questions from members of the committee? Well, thank you very much for your attendance today. That concludes our agenda. This meeting stands adjourned.